I would like to start by thanking Food Drinks Europe for inviting me here today. I'm super excited and I'm very grateful to be able to be heard and to learn from all of you today. My name is Júlia Montoliu Boneu. I come from Spain, and I'm a pharmacist and nutritionist, and I'm also part of a youth-led group of activists on food system sustainability. We're called the FutureFoodMakers, and our mission is to spread awareness on future generations' worries on the food system. Now, while I was thinking of how to start this talk and what I could talk to you guys about, I found out that today is no other than the World Tapas Day. And I don't know if everyone here is familiar with what the tapa is, but it is very characteristic of Spanish cuisine and culture. It's a very small portion of food, normally a slice of bread with something on it, or maybe a smaller part of a bigger dish. Now, I thought that the tapa kind of summed up all the points that I wanted to dwell on today, so allow me. The first one is food trends in new generations. The second one is the importance of mental health and social inclusion in food. And the third one is sustainability, of course. Now, I know it may sound weird, but please, hear me out and buckle your seatbelts for this gastronomical metaphor ride. We found in the tapas small size and convenience, the perfect example of what newer generations expect from the market. Even if health is the main decision or one of the main factors for food decisions, time for cooking and meal prepping is restricted, and younger generations are not really looking forward to dedicate time to it. In fact, according to Food Insider, 71% on the respondents of their consumer survey that said that they consumed delivery services weekly were either Generation Z or millennials, which means that there's a gap in the market, and that's the availability of healthy, ready-to-eat food that are convenient, that are available for transportation, that are available in individual portions to prevent food waste, which most of them are not. But this also has a detrimental side, which is that an amount of convenience food also means an amount in food processing. And this kind of public has very, very strong views on food processing and the use of chemicals for food conservation, etc. From most of the ones that we are here today know that that's not exactly true, but how do you tell that to the consumer? We need to work on establishing trust and bonds with the consumer so that we can tackle that. But now, back to my tapas. As I've said, a tapa is normally a slice of bread with some kind of processed meat on it. I think you've all heard of jamón. But it also normally consists of a deep-fried food. And if there's one thing that we like to do in Spain, apart from eat, is brag about the benefits of the Mediterranean diet. But according to the Global Obesity Observatory, 1 of every 5 kids in my country suffers from diet-related metabolic issues, which can be strange if we think about Mediterranean diet. This just means that we need to emphasize on dietary changes. And that's where what the Lancet published as the Planetary Health Diet comes into play. The Planetary Health Diet is a diet that's focused not only on people's health, but also on the planet's health. It's based on a flexitarian approach, based on the consumption of fruits, vegetables, whole grains, vegetable proteins, and unsaturated fats. But to both get and build the trust with the consumer and get to this dietary change that we need a tool. We need something. And the FutureFoodMakers, we want food education to be the tool and the mechanism to solve this. Now, by food education, I mean the creation of programs and strategies that integrate the basics of nutrition and healthy habit creation in school curricula all across Europe. It needs to integrate the basics of nutrition, but we also need to tackle on environmental impact, on agriculture, a little bit on food processing. I mean, diet is a major key player in illness prevention. We must take responsibility for our role on it. We're the people who bring food to the table. So we must do something to help people make the right decisions. Knowing and learning about nutrition, about diets, about balancing lifestyles, it cannot be a privilege that's reserved to those who have studied specific degrees. We have complex labeling, and we try very hard to keep up with it, but how many consumers actually know what a calorie stands for? According to EIT Food survey on young consumers and their relationship with food, 75% said that they really weren't sure of how to develop or how to take care of themselves diet-wise. And 65% of them also agreed on the fact that they would have liked to receive this kind of information in schools. Now, this brings me to my second point, which is the importance of mental health and social inclusion. A tapa is never, never eaten on your own. It's part of a cultural engagement, and you take it when you're with friends and you are reunited with people. Similarly, we cannot think about younger generations without understanding the importance of mental health and social inclusion for them. I think we must work towards making the food environment an environment where everyone feels safe with their food decisions and no one feels victimized with what they choose to eat. Now, maybe an approach to that and to help prevent eating disorders could be, I don't know, a labeling that's focused on ratios or contribution to a standard healthy diet instead of absolute numbers that they don't really know what to do with. But also, now that we're talking about social issues, I would like to take a step back and acknowledge the fact that we're talking from a food accessibility privileged place right now. The core of a food system is to feed its people. And right now, there's lots of people who suffer from food insecurity. We must continue to work on policies and strategies to integrate vulnerable communities and to guarantee their access to safe and nutritious and healthy food. Now, last point, sustainability. And you may be thinking, what does really tapas have to do with sustainability? And I will tell you. Their small portion size is actually a food waste preventive mechanism. Now you think of that. But according to World Wildlife, if we reduced our food waste, or we even completed to cut, or we even get to the point of cutting our food waste, we could reduce human-produced greenhouse gas emissions from 6 up to 5%. Sustainability is also one of the main worries of younger generations, to which I include myself and my fellow future food makers. We must keep on working towards consecuting goals and milestones in this regard, and I really want this message to be emphasized here today. Keep on working towards what you're doing, because you're doing quite fine, honestly, but it's important to keep it in mind, because contributing to our planet's health is also contributing to our own. Now, this is the end for me, and as a conclusion, I would like to say that if you ever go to Spain and have some tapas, I hope you think of this talk and what has been said here today, and you feel inspired by their small size. You think of the new trends and the convenience and the need for new kinds of healthy foods that are available. But I also want you to know that if you're served a deep-fried food kind of tapa, there's a need for a dietary change, and that we must work on education programs to help enhance it. And if you enjoy your tapas with some friends, please be reminded of the need to consider mental health in the food environment, because we want everyone to feel welcome and safe. And last but not least, feel inspired to reduce your food waste by not leaving anything on the plate. Now, that's everything from me. Thank you very much.